What's going on, guys? This is Bobby Douglas. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we got another 2020 NBA Draft Prospect full game video breakdown, and we're going to be taking a look at Israel point guard Yam Madar. He just finished his club season in the Israeli League with Hapoel Tel Aviv, and he also had a very successful FIBA career at the U20 European Championships last summer. So this is a game from that tournament where they're taking on Spain in a championship. Israel's going to go on to win this game, and Madar is going to have 17 points and 8 assists with 5 turnovers in around 32 minutes. And listen, I really like Yam Madar. He's not a guy in my top 60 right now, but he's definitely going to crack my top 75, so kind of in that next tier of players outside of the draftable range in my book. But, he's a quick 6'2 point guard. I think there's an overtime video that calls him the Israeli Steph Curry. Not really sure he's that. In fact, he's not that, but, he is a very fun player to watch. He's pretty intense defensively. He's a really good point of attack defender. Shooting the ball has been a struggle with him. He did shoot around 47% from 3 in this FIBA tournament, but that only came on 21 attempts. With his club team this past season, he shot around 27% from 3, so that is a little bit of a concern. But overall, I like his court vision. I like his overall intensity. And yeah, I'm excited to watch this game with you guys right now, so let's get right into it. So he's going to be number 41 in the whites for Israel. And you'll see him get the ball right here. And yeah, so you can see 6'2", 6'3"-ish. I couldn't find an official weight on him. And right there, looks like we got a kick ball right off the bat. Madar is known to take a lot of risks on the floor, but overall, I do think his passing vision is pretty special. It's just a matter, matter of just kind of like reining it in a little bit and making the smart basketball decision. Here he is, good job attacking off the drive. He's going to rise up for that floater, get an and one right off the bat. And again, pretty good job just finishing at the rim. Again, he averaged 10 points a game in the Israeli League, and he had some really, really good performance against Maccabi Tel Aviv, which is obviously Deni Avdia's team, among other really good former NBA players' teams as well. But he really broke out there in those last 3 games. They ultimately lost a 3-game series to Maccabi, but he played really well. He was kind of a revelation, and this was a guy who was pretty much unheard of. He wasn't even invited to the NBA Combine list of the top 105, and now people are starting to have him in the top 40s of boards. I still have him in that 60 to 75 range, but he definitely deserves an invite, and I do think there is a legitimate chance that he could make an NBA roster, assuming he develops a little bit more, adds a little bit more strength. Looks like we got a foul on him right here. I will skip ahead. But yeah, no, he's a guy who really just burst onto the scene, and he was another one, just how we talked about how Deni Avdia improved his stock a lot just because he was the only one playing. Yam Madar was also playing in that same league against Deni, so scouts saw a lot of Yam Madar as well, and he really made the most out of his opportunity. Right there, that's a lazy closeout. Probably should have just slid his feet instead of just trying for the run-in closeout right there. Not a huge fan of that. Overall, he's a very intense on-ball defender. Not really sure. He can be a little bit reckless, but he is he's gonna bring effort to that end. Right there, that closeout wasn't that sound though. So, and here he is bringing the ball up the floor, and there's Deni Avdia right there on that curl, and he's gonna shoot this 3. He's gonna miss that one badly, but Deni was named the MVP of this tournament for reference, by the way, as well. And so just something to keep in mind. I know I'm not a huge fan of Deni, but he was very, very good in this tournament. So just, I'll give credit where credit's due. Right there, Madar kind of got killed on that screen. And again, that's always the issue with these 6'2" defensive stoppers on that end. What are you going to do when they're putting ball screens? What are you going to do when he's matched up onto a bigger player? These point of attack defenders aren't really versatile, but it's just a matter of how much of a disruptor can you be on that end. And I think Madar is definitely one of the more disruptive point of attack defenders in this class. You can see right here, he's going to force up that little floater. He does like going to that mid-range pull-up, and he does hit that a decent amount. Right there, it looked like he kind of double-clutched. Not really sure if that was the right shot to make. But, I do like his overall aggressive mindset. And again, he's a very creative passer, very creative finisher. In the Israeli League, averaged 10 points a game along with 3.5 assists on around 45% shooting, which is pretty solid, too. So, especially considering the 3-ball wasn't really a threat for him in this season. But overall, it's just a matter of can he develop a little bit more. And here we go, nice pass to a trailing Deni Avdia, who's going to bury that 3 from very deep. That was a very nice play. And again, Madar just sets that up. Again, he gets the ball, he runs, he's really good in transition, good court vision. But again, you can see him right there. He kind of gambles on that press trap, and he has to sprint back to get back to his man. And now Israel's kind of just in like a whole scramble mode. Luckily, Spain didn't hit the shot, but he just needs to work on just being a little bit more just relaxed defensively. And I think that's easier to tone down than it is to tone up, if that makes sense. I think intensity is easier to rein in than it is to ramp up. And so usually with these guys who are just so active defensively, I don't really think it's too big of an issue. In the NBA, here he is leading the fast break, and he's going to finish again. Really nice play. Again, just uses his body control well, uses that body as a shield against his defender, and he finishes with the right hand right there. And so again, he's just really crafty, really creative, and can really play. And here we go. Looks like we got... I think Spain has some guys that I think are going to be in the 2021 class. I want to say Usman Garuba was on this team, and I think Carlos Alocen, I think, were both on this team. So those are two names to keep an eye on because they'll be 21 guys. But yeah. So yeah, this was a very interesting tournament. Too bad we didn't get to see any FIBA events this year due to COVID. Because, this is my first year really kind of just diving into the whole FIBA and the European leagues. Just because, there are so many draft prospects from out there. And so, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that we don't get to see it. And there's Alocen. I think his first name is Carlos. I'm not 100% sure, though. But I've seen his name on big boards for 2021, I believe. And here you go. So you can see Madar's kind of getting taken out of the play right now. Not really on him. Israel just knocked down another three. So Madar is playing off the ball right now. Again, pretty good job digging down into that post. But again, he probably committed way too much. And I get Israel's scheme is kind of just like a run and chase type of defense. They seem to be pretty comfortable just kind of scrambling and rotating when one guy doubles down in the post like that. But overall, I want to see a little less of a total full-blown commitment to doubling on the ball. Really nice backdoor cut from Yam. That's just an unbelievable pass. I think he made that at a negative angle, too. That was awesome. Such a good pass. And that's the type of creative court vision that he will bring right there. Just kind of running around the baseline, almost like a Nash cut. And then just a right-handed hook pass out to the top of the key for an open three, which they bury. So, again, I really like that play from Madar. Good job getting over that screen. Let's see if he gets back here. Yep, good job meeting his defender right before the basket, and he ultimately kind of disrupted a layup right there. But you can see right there, I'd like to see him at least contest that shot, right, instead of just running back. Granted, it's going to work out well for Israel, and he's going to get another assist just because of that quick transition passing that I mentioned. But, I'd just like to see a little bit more just closeout engagement thus far. Yeah, so you can see Madar already has 5 points and 3 assists. Definitely making his mark here in the first quarter. Looks like we got... Oh, that was just a... Missed something here. Here we go. Not much to see there. He cut late to the screen, so... Here we go. So Madar is in the left slot right now. That's going to be a deep three for Israel. They're going to miss that one. And here's Madar on the ball. And again, moves his feet pretty well right there. Kind of just let his man go by him a little bit. But usually he's a lot more engaged defensively. He's just he can be like an absolute menace on the perimeter at times. This game he hasn't really looked super effective on defense. But I think the effort is there for the most part. Here he's calling out the offense. Good job just busting that. Yeah, that's a really nice play. That's not going to drop. Good job getting that rebound, though, and just kind of fighting for the loose ball. But again, really nice job just kind of using his eyes to fake out his defender and just go towards the left. And he ultimately got a good look at the basket, just couldn't really get it in. We're going to get a foul right here, it looks like, so I will skip ahead. Here's the first free throw. I'll skip this. And here we go. And here's Denny bringing up the ball. And Madar's in that left corner again. Again, nice job almost getting that back door. I like how he's looking for that option. And again, ball's pretty much on a string. That's another really nice pass out of a pick and roll. If you can hit that weak side corner out of pick and roll reads, that's really special. That's what makes Luka Doncic such an effective passer in the NBA. So I do look for that when you look at point guards and how they attack the pick and roll like that. So to see that Yam Madar has that pass in his arsenal right there and that he's comfortable making that pass, that does encourage me a fair amount. And here we go. Looks like we're going to get Madar. Bad inbounds pass. Not on Madar right there. But you can see him. Nice job picking up defensively right here. And he's going to have to rotate and get back. And again, just cutting off drives, just making himself a presence. I think he's very good at that. And again, in the Israeli league, some of his highlights are just absurd at how good defensively he is. You can see Israel's pretty much switching everything up top. So now Madar's on a bigger defender, or on a bigger offender. And Spain's going to hit that three. They didn't exploit that mismatch with Madar, but that's something I do worry about with him, just at the NBA level. And here he is going to get the ball on the right wing. Just going to simple reverse pass. And again, I like how he's kind of stutter stepped, kind of like an NFL wide receiver, just trying to get a step on his defender, either one way or the other, coming off of a pin down into a dribble handoff, or just trying to cut back door, things like that. So I do think that's pretty effective, and I like that he actively seeks for open cuts, because that's a thing that a lot of young players don't like to do, just kind of move without the basketball. And so I do like that Madar does that. Actually, speaking of which, Denny Avdia is actually a really good mover off the ball as well. So that's something to note as well. This Israel team, they're very good at moving without the ball. And again, it's a pretty free-flowing offense. I think it's a pretty fun team to watch overall from what I've seen of them. And so it just is interesting to watch, like, how different countries, how different leagues, how their play style changes across the world. And here we go. We're going to get a foul here. Looks like they wanted a shot. Nothing much going on here. And here we go. Continues. Madar's still in here. He's been in the entire first quarter. And again, I like that use of separation. He's going to hit that three. Yes, sir. Yep, deep three. And again, he shot 47% from three in this tournament. However, in the Israeli league this past season, he only shot 27%. So that shot is a huge question mark with him. I think he's around an 80% free throw shooter, so that's at least encouraging. But just that three-point shot is really going to make or break his NBA viability, I think, at the offensive end. Right there, you can see that turnover. I don't know how he got that ball back, but that's really fun. That's a really good pass, too. Please hit that. Oh, that would have been such a fun pass. Looks like we got a foul or something here, but I will skip ahead. That was a really fun pass. And again, you could see we got a technical, we got like some technical or something going on here. So I'll watch Madar shoot these free throws. And let me just make sure I got that right. Yeah, 81.2% from the line. So again, that shot, the hope for the shot is there. See right there, perfect swish, crisp release. Everything looks good in terms of his form, at least up top. I just think it's, just one of those things where, these young shooters, like, they tend to need ironing out. And so that'll just be something to monitor over his career. Good handle right there. And again, that's part of that's a reason why, like, the Curry comparisons come into play, just because he is really creative with the ball, really good at just kind of creating space with his dribble, things like that. You saw that little behind the back crossover. And so he is really fluid with the ball in his hands. Again, he averages a lot of turnovers, but that creativity and that overall fluidity is really something to like about his game. And you can see him right now. Good job kind of just like sticking his leg into the post. Let's see how he defends it right here. Looks like we got a foul on Madar. I'm not really sure I agree with that call, but he's going to be out right here, I think, for the rest of the first quarter, and I will skip ahead to 31-47 when he comes back into this game. And here we go. Yeah, so just to start the second quarter right here. And I will end this video at halftime just to make them shorter and more bearable to watch in its entirety, because like it's hard for me to just go like 45 minutes straight of this game or any game, but you got a nice finish from Spain right there. And here's Denny with the ball. And so you can see Madar's actually being used off the ball a decent amount. And listen, I think he's more of a true point guard in the NBA. And But in order to really just like maximize his off-ball potential, I think he really needs to shoot the ball well. And that's just something I'm not super sold on with him. I think he's a really fun player to watch. I think he's really creative. But like if he doesn't have the jump shot at his size, I just don't really see a path for him in the NBA. And so yeah, that's why I have him outside my top 60 when some people have him outside, like inside their top 45s. And listen, he was a late addition. Not many people knew about him, but then on these most recent updates of these popular big boards, like he really was rising up the ranks. I think Vicini and June didn't even have Sam Vicini of the Athletic. I don't even think had Yam Madar in his big board. I think Kevin O'Connor didn't have him inside the top 50. Now he has him like as an early second round prospect. So just like people are really starting to notice Madar, and now it's starting to be a lot more. He's starting to be a lot more visible to NBA scouts, and I think that's a good thing because I do think he possesses like intriguing skills. It's just if he can't shoot the ball, I think his NBA career is basically non-existent. So it's really going to just depend on the shooting, and there are indicators there that he can shoot. We obviously mentioned the 81% free throw percentage, and then along with the 47% from three that he got in this tournament. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. And here's Denny. Good job moving fluid with the ball from Denny right there. Swing it, Israel. Yep, swing it. One more. They had Madar open there. So let's see what he does here. And again, that's just like one of those plays where he just tries to go for the home run a little bit too much. I think he had a cutter going back door, and like he's kind of mad about just like that whole situation. But again, like against that NBA length, it's going to be really hard to get those hook passes off just because they'll just be deflected into steals, as we saw right there. So just that's something to watch out for, I would say, as well. So we got a timeout for Israel. Yeah, so we'll skip ahead here. But again, so I do think adjusting to NBA length will be an issue for him. He obviously needs to get a lot stronger, I think. And so we'll just have to wait and see how he develops. And he's not a guy where I think he'll probably stay in Israel, assuming he doesn't get drafted. Because we just saw Leandro Bolmaros announce that he's staying at Barcelona for this upcoming season. So he'll be a draft and stash option. I think Madar will be another one if he does get drafted. And it'll just be interesting to see if a team takes a chance on him. But ultimately, I kind of like him as a guy who will probably go undrafted. And then either someone will sign him in a few years or, we'll just see what happens. But I think there's a legit chance he gets to the NBA. He's out right here, so I'll skip ahead to 40-56 when he comes back in. So here we go. He's in for about 8 minutes of YouTube time right here, and then he's out for basically the remainder of the first half. So you got a foul right here, so I'll skip this. There were some fireworks in this game, too. I think Madar got into a little scuffle. I think Denny Avdia at the end of this game when Israel had it wrapped up, he saluted to the Spain bench, and Spain was not happy about that. So there are some fireworks in the second half that occur. So that's pretty fun to stick around and watch for in the next video. And here's Madar. And good pass off of Denny Avdia. Really nice shot. Really nice just release into really nice footwork into his shot, I should say. And then Madar, good job just hitting him right in the money. Right in the money spot. And, open three for Denny. Knocks it in. And here you can see Madar is just kind of just reaching in the face of his man. Really nice shot, just kind of creating havoc. So again, I kind of see him as kind of that perimeter point of attack bulldog in terms of his defense. I'm not really sure what else he can really offer. But just something to keep an eye on. There's a deep three. Looks like we got a foul here, so I'll skip ahead. I don't think we're in a bonus, but yeah, here we go. So and here's Madar on the ball again. And you can see right there, his foot speed probably needs a little bit of work, just because he tends to get caught a little bit too early. But right here, you can just see him just bodying up, using that reach. Looks like we got a foul on number 44 for Israel. But you just see him just kind of making, like, Spain's life hell on the perimeter, which I do like, even though he does take unnecessary risks. And honestly, he's not the strongest guy. So he's not really, I wouldn't necessarily call him a good defender. I would call him a disruptive defender. But I think he's better than like a Steph Curry, who's kind of cast into a similar role. I think Madar has a lot better of a motor on the defensive end. And it's just going to be like his size that ultimately limits his defensive impact. Because we look at, point guards like Patrick Beverley, we look at Eric Bledsoe, we look at Marcus Smart, and like they're all really, really good defenders, but their impact is just not as great as a guy who's like a 6'8" wing or a big man who can protect the paint on the defensive end. So like you can be a really good defender and not really have a huge impact on the game, but just those little things like making, like taking like 5 seconds out of taking 5 seconds out of an offense, getting a deflection that leads to a disrupted play, things like that. Those are all things that Yam Madar, I think, can really do. And it's just going to be a matter of, like, can he get a little bit stronger? Can he get a little bit quicker? Can he learn about risk management, in a sense? So that'll be interesting to watch. Yeah, so Spain just pretty much destroyed that Israel press right there. Here we go. So here's number 18 for Israel. It's a really nice finish right there. But here we go. There's still no scoreboard up, so that's irritating. And so again, right there, we didn't see the whole play, but like Madar's kind of just like letting the dribbler go past him, and he's almost trying to reach behind for steals and things like that. Not really a huge fan of that defensive principle necessarily. I'd much rather see him just kind of get in the face of the person he's guarding and just kind of just like make him give up the ball. So I think that's ultimately his best defensive role. Dude does here. Not much going on for Israel right here. Looks like we're going to get a 3. That's just a huge shot for Israel. And again, still no scoreboard on this broadcast. That Spain guy did not look happy about that little bump. So you can see Madar kind of sneaking in down low. Right there, he almost got beat backdoor. Good job to recover late, though. And good job finding his man to box out instead of just rebound chasing. So you got a foul here, and it's 47-12. So here he is. Got the ball in his hands. Passing within the flow of the offense. He's going to use this ball screen. Let's see what he does here. So again, I like that shot from Madar. I like that. And again, once he gets that jump shot more ironed out and just kind of more consistent, I think that's going to be a really big use for him, especially attacking drop coverages in the NBA, being able to pull up from mid-range and knock down that shot consistently. I mean, we basically saw Kemba Walker dominate the Philadelphia 76ers just by doing that, So just things like that I do think are a legitimate tool to have in the NBA. I think Madar is going to be out right here, so I'll skip ahead to 54-50. But, like just these small guards, I think that pull-up mid-range jumper out of ball screens is almost imperative to have in today's NBA just because of the prevalence of drop coverage. And again, we saw Kemba Walker, my favorite player of all time, by the way. But we saw Kemba Walker pretty much just obliterate Philadelphia's defense. He made Joel Embiid look silly with the amount of times he was able to get that mid-range jumper off. And so we got the final 14 seconds of this half. Not much going on here. Let's see if Madar's just kind of looking for the ball. Can't really get anything going. Israel's going to make that shot. 5.2 left. I think we're going to get a timeout from Spain here. So we will skip ahead. And I think nothing really happens in just 5.4 seconds. I actually think, yeah, Madar's actually out. So I'll pause the first half video here, and that'll wrap it up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. And also, thank you guys for the engagement on the last video. My most viewed video ever. And it broke the record within 2 days. So that's awesome. Thank you guys for watching. And, honestly, if you guys want to see more team needs videos, sleeper videos, player breakdowns, like things like that, I'm all ears for suggestions. I'm kind of searching for things to do videos on now. So anyway, yeah, just keep that in mind. If you have any ideas, just shoot a comment and I'll respond to it, obviously. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. We will see you for the second half very soon. Thanks.